Okay, so what can I say about today? I have been reading the audiobooks of Mistborn series, and Brandon Sanderson is a writer I have a love-hate relationship with. I have to be in the right mood for his work. I struggle with some of his writing and its style here and there, and his world building is amazing. Like, the world building in Mistborn is spectacular. And coming back into them, because they're on my e-library and I thought I'd give them a go. If I don't like them, non-committal, don't have to spend money on them, I thought I would go for it. So, and I'm really enjoying them. I really am. I've listened to The Final Empire. I'm just come to the end of book 2, and I've started The Hero of Ages. And, I've got the second trilogy, and then I know that he's going to be doing a few more. I've also got the Secret Histories out of my library as a book, so I'll give that one a go. So, Mistborn is a weird one, because it takes place in this it's a fantasy world, but it's moving and evolving, and it's medieval-ish fantasy. Then we go into the Industrial Age, and then he's apparently doing another trilogy that takes place in the early days of computer programming. So, yeah, it's a very rich, dense world, and I do love the narration of this. It's beautifully narrated and beautifully handled in that sense. But I still struggle with his characters, though, and I don't know what it is. I don't actually know what it is about the characters that makes me go, I struggle with them. I adore the world building, and it's interesting because as they move on, you have something. I mean, these are just typical high fantasy, epic fantasy, actually, not high fantasy, epic fantasy. They're big, they're splashy. I love the language that he's using. And maybe it was just because the voice in my head wasn't right for them. We all have a reading voice, and I can just sit back and listen to these, and the reading voice is really good. The language is beautifully put together, the characters are really put together. It's still not my favourite element of the story, but I can live with that when everything else is so good. It's going to be interesting, because I know the second trilogy is set in an urban setting, featuring technology, and a third trilogy is going to be set in apparently it's going to be in a science fiction. There's the whole thing is a huge world. It's not an easy one to put in. So it blurs genre as well. The characters feel very human, he's very well written, it's interesting reading them. So they're broken into eras. So you have Era 1, which I'm currently in. I've got Era 2 on the back burner. They're requested, so we'll see what happens there. And we'll go from there, I think. Brandon Sanderson, I don't know what it is. I've never gelled with his work, and I still struggle to gel with his work. But having it read to you by someone really does help. I don't know how to explain that. Having that reading voice, that good narrator, and I love the fact that the genre lines are blurred. There is a bit of, it's fantasy, there's a little bit of dystopian, we apparently veer into, there's even some cyberpunk elements and science fiction elements, and it all kind of merges into this just big thing. And just really enjoyable. It's also, I think, I'm going to look up the old graphic novels of these, because I really do want to try them. I might, if I gel with 2, I might just keep this going and keep you guys up to date of the rest of them, because I think this is going to be interesting, and I needed some big splashy fantasy to get away from the reality of the world right now, and like I said, having things read to you is nice, and I like that. And I like a good narrator. I like an audiobook. With me, it doesn't matter if I'm reading or someone's reading to me, my brain creates a movie in my head, which is often why I can't watch film adaptations of books that I love, because none of the characters look like the characters in my head, or the world isn't identical to how it's in my head, and I struggle with that. But it plays out like a film. It's really strange. I don't know if that's just me, because I know some people just read the words and they hear the words, but my brain puts it together in a visual sense, which, if you watch this video long enough to get to the end of the video, do you guys do that? But yeah, so I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep reading these and, well, listening to them. I'm really enjoying them, and I want to dive into maybe more of his work. I am struggling with the characters, I won't lie, but the world building is great, the story is great, the set pieces are great, the writing is beautiful. So yeah, so all of my links are in the doobly-doo at the bottom, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.